Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It is September 11th, the anniversary of the Twin Towers. My condolences to the families of those who were lost that day. There's something about a return. Now, God had a covenant with some folks here on the realm. And they were supposed to guide and protect and help elevate the earth angels, the humans, right? Guardians and such. And instead, they worked to drive the people into failure with reverse psychology. And they separated them telepathically and wrapping their crowns so that they couldn't get access. So they essentially kind of broke the bridges of the people. And then they had fun with them and started having a feast. Apparently God is back. There's been a spiritual battle for the last 15 months in the Astral. It has already been won there, and we're seeing it play out in the 3D. Yesterday, these occultists, these masculines, were talking about the way they go out. So we're going to see a lot of scripts being played out. I'm not saying that some of them aren't real. Most of them, there's going to be some for sure that are. But we're going to see some exits. You know, we got death certificates and such that is necessary for these people to swap their identities and to start a new life, right? I had a visual, a shorter haired masculine. He had like a Tom Peterson haircut that was a little longer on the top. It looked real nice. He was angry and he was arguing with somebody. He was talking a lot with his hands and his arms. They were moving about quite a bit. Then I had another visual. There were two regular men and they were shooting semi-automatic weapons at two giant men. They were all on foot. The return of who? The Titans? Take it as it resonates. A masculine stated, "You're making me ... So rather than just, you know, go with the flow, we got some folks wanting to fight this and, you know, they're causing more trouble than is necessary. Because they're gonna, you know, they want to fight, and I guess they want to fight to the death or whatever. I heard one masculine state that he would rather die than go through whatever this shift is. Then it sounded like I heard the curator warn somebody, push me again. So it sounds like these masculines are really getting fed up with each other. They're starting to war with each other. And there's a lot of action with the arms and the hands. So they're like pushing each other. One of them was talking, trying to explain something. And another one said, F that. This curator or somebody stated, I don't like the fact that he's here. And I think he's talking about God or the divine masculines, the hierarchy that they had tried to block from ever returning. They're really mad that they're back, and they're upset because these guardians that they had a covenant with betrayed them and the life that they were supposed to be guiding. As I mentioned, they were using reverse psychology and they were driving people into failure, expecting them to be able to come up out of that, to make the choice to come up out of that. But many of them were children and they just didn't have this, what it took to kind of do that. So they were really driving people into failure so that they could feast. They're high energy, one masculine complained. So you power couples out there, whether it be in the spirit or in the flesh, you are very strong and potent with each other. Your energy is really giving these warlords a trouble or two. It seems there's evidence now over the pleasure seekers versus those who work to restore balance. The illusions have been broken. This energetic swap of identity has crashed. All people have been tested, whether they be human or those posing as. Some chose to destroy life, to feed on it, and some chose to nurture it. Now, those nurturers from the age of children were also trained to destroy it, to feed on the animals, and to, by instilling a lack of value for self, with these narcissistic traits of these families that stars and suns were placed in. They really hoped to flip them, because they were driving them into failure with this reverse psychology crap. So they were putting them in some opposite. That's why you felt like you were the black sheep. You were not in the correct family, and you were not being guided correctly. These nefarious ones are talking about a plastic surgeon. They want to change their appearance. They're stalking the social media of somebody. So they're talking about plastic surgery, tattoos, and teeth. There's a representative out there who has some type of authority, and their reputation is good. They've been accepted by the people. They want to dnap this person so that they can have the energy and the genetics and play with the mental body of this person and step in as influencer under their identity and lead the people down a path of incoherence once more. A feminine asked, have you been to the cathedral yet? So this is that feminine who needs to get plastic surgery and tattoos and get her teeth altered so that she can fit in as this influencer. There's a cathedral regarding this person. They've been venerated. And this is a feminine who wants to step in as this a holy person. Copycat. Certainly didn't walk the impossible path, wants to step in as though they are and can. They don't have the inner fortitude to manage this energy, and yet they want to be seen as that. And these dominator masculine tyrants, they're working real hard to get death certificates and alter their appearances so that they can start a new life as somebody else. They're taking over identities right now. This war, as I mentioned, has been fought in the astral, and right now it's coming to the 3D, and they need to switch identities. There's a hostile takeover. This was mentioned upon waking. And it's strange to hear these SEX trafficking masculines talking about a hostile takeover, considering that they are so violent to the feminine, to the children. Centuries. So there's something about this violence and liability. These traffickers are experiencing a karmic return of the violence that they have put into the world. The divine stated over a year ago that if they want a world of violence they shall have. So we're seeing the spiritual battle play out in the 3D now. And they're calling it a hostile takeover. These dominator tyrant abusers who do not value this venerated feminine influencer. They want to put in this copycat that they can control so that they can control the masses. So yesterday they mentioned the way they go out. So there's going to be some actual catastrophes, and then there's going to be some false ones. A lot of these masculines are going to fake their death so that they can take over somebody else's identity. And live as them. So it's a script, and the way they go out, will they be seen as a hero or a villain? They've got to choose their format. This is the message that I have for you, and I'll see you on the next one, everybody.